Is Bronny the best one of all the athletes that you game with?
The best one is Devin Booker. I think by far. Bro, you would have thought bro, he's crazy. Like he has like a 3 KD or something like that on Warzone, and he doesn't talk much. He has a very deep voice too. Like this, I'm like, bro.
Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Subject to Change is here. And today I'm in Starbucks because the power went out at my apartment. My headphones didn't connect. Everything that could have went wrong, except something went very right. Somehow we convinced Chris Swagg, Faze Swagg, whatever you want to call him, to jump on the podcast, and he's here with us. Chris, what's going on, baby?
Seriously, I want to dive in on Faze because I know that like you've had a lot of different jumps in your career and everything like that. How did you get into Faze? Like, how did that all start, and what's that kind of been like? What's your relationship there?
Yeah, so Faze, man, like I said, growing up like back in like 2013, 2014, 2015, like they had started probably the first like team house, right? First gaming house where you saw a bunch of guys get together into a content house and play video games together, make videos. And I thought that was the coolest thing. And obviously everyone who was gaming back then had a dream of being in Faze, right? But up until like a year and a half ago is when Warzone had came out and I started making videos on that the same way. So like I had practiced the way I made videos for so long, and when Warzone came out, it was such a huge game that no one really knew how to make videos on the game. But I had figured out really quick, and I had like a 30 million view month on YouTube. It was crazy. And I remember Faze Apex, one of the founders, DM'd me and said, bro, I love your class setups. He's like, I love watching your videos. And I'm like, bro, what? Like, this is the GOAT right here, like one of the gaming gods. And then after a while, they said all the Faze members were watching my videos to get better at Warzone. And so that's when that kind of started happening. And Apex had DM'd me and said, yo, you want to join Faze as like a Warzone content creator type stuff. And he said I fit the team well. And that's kind of how that haul started. And then I've been in Faze for about like a year and a half now. And we've done so many great things together, and it just feels like home. You know what I mean? Feel like I've been in there forever than a year and a half.
Yeah, they were already established. I mean, they've been established for a while now, right? So it's like
so long.
So you get that like text or that DM, and you're like, that's a big deal.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the number one gaming organization in the world. I mean, they do the craziest things. Like I said, I'm sure we'll get into it, but the whole Sports Illustrated, I mean, that's just kind of the staple, like how big Faze actually is. And, you know, to be in that team it's crazy.
Yeah, let's jump right to that. I mean, the Sports Illustrated thing. Can you hear me, by the way? My girlfriend just dropped.
Yeah.
These are tough headphones. They're from Walgreens. They were $4.99. Anyways, so talk about Sports Illustrated. I mean, you go from getting injured playing basketball, which every basketball player's dream is to be on the cover of one of those, right? A Sports Illustrated. Did you ever think in a million years that you would be on Sports Illustrated's cover and not even for basketball? Like, that's the wildest thing, right?
Yeah, man. I was just talking to my pops about it, you know, because my dad, like I said, he coached me a lot and, you know, was kind of that guide early on. And for him to see me on the cover of Sports Illustrated, but for video games, like he was so emotional and just so proud. But the way that kind of happened was, man, so like we had just got this, over my manager at Faze hit me up and said, yo, Sports Illustrated wants to do a cover shoot with us. And at first I read that and I said, oh, they probably want to do some interview like for like inside of the mat. You know what I mean? And I was like, and then they said, no, a cover shoot. And I'm like, what? Like, bro. And I was like, I had just watched More Than a Game. I don't know if you guys have seen that, the Braun one, the Braun movie. Yeah, you know.
He's on the cover.
Come on now. Come on.
Yeah. And I'm like, they want us to be on the cover. And it was just such a crazy, you know, I had the magazine. I don't even know where it's at. But yeah, to be on that no one could have saw that coming. Nobody.
How did they decide who was going to be on it, right? Because Faze has a lot of different members, but it ended up being like 7 of you, I think it was.
Yeah. So it was me, Tommy, Rugg, Bronny, and Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray had just joined Faze right before that. So they wanted a mix of like athletes and some of the gamers as well too to be in there as well. So, and excuse me.
You good? Hey, wasn't Nick on the cover too, or no?
Nick. Yeah, excuse me. Wow, Nick was another one.
Left Nick off there. Said
no. That's my boy. Yeah, also Nick. So like I said, they took like obviously like because me and Nick play with a lot of these athletes, right? Like ever since the pandemic, a lot of these athletes want to play. They want to play video games with us. I played with like Devin Booker, OBJ, different guys like that. And so they kind of had us in there for that because we were in the mix with them. And obviously Tommy's one of the founders, and then Ruggs literally the biggest face, 19 million subscribers. Dude's a tank. But so that's kind of how that cover shoot kind of happened.
That's unbelievable. What does it look like now for you with FaZe? I mean, you talked about, I mean, what you do is gaming. I mean, right now it's Warzone, but we all know that it's eventually and most likely going to be a different one. But now that you're with FaZe, I feel like their brand is just so big. Like, are you going to get into any other content stuff, or is your content going to pretty much stay the same?
Most definitely. I mean, I think that's why I moved out to LA, you know, just to kind of figure that out. I know Warzone may not be as big as it is forever. You know what I mean? There'll be a different game, but I always told myself I'm always going to be in gaming as far as content creation, whatever game that may be, whatever the biggest popping game is comes out, you know. But as far as like with the Nuke Squad channel we got going, we're doing a lot of IRL content with like 2Hype, you know, with like with Rug, we got a lot of stuff going with him as well too. So just that's the whole point of coming out here, right? Just to figure that out, see what that's like, experiment, do different things, and I'm excited for it, man. It's been awesome so far.
Yeah, it feels like the easy transition, right? To like just keep doing more and more stuff. You mentioned playing with all these different athletes. Is Bronny the best one of all the athletes that you game with?
The best one is Devin Booker, I think, by far. Bro, you would have thought bro, he's crazy. Like he has like a 3 KD or something like that on Warzone, and he doesn't talk much. He's like, he has a very deep voice too. Like I'm like, bro, what? Like you're talking to like somebody who's you like Devin Booker. If you look at him, you wouldn't think he has that deep of a voice, but I think he's by far the best player, like as far as Call of Duty wise.
He's really taking over the world. Like he's maybe gonna win the NBA championship. He's dating a Jenner, and now he's the best gamer of all time. So that's pretty good for D-Book. What is your relationship with Bronny though? Just last question on that, right? He's obviously big in our world and hoops and everything, and it was crazy to see him join FaZe. Like I did not see that coming. It makes sense like afterwards. But what's your relationship with him? Do you game with him, or do you guys play different stuff?
We game every now and then. I just saw him last night at the Space Jam. They had like a little like a release party or something like that at Six Flags. I just saw him, said what's up to him. But I see him all the time. We just pull up to his game. It was one of his last games, and like Drake and Michael B. Jordan were there. And, like, it was like, bro, what is happening? I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden those two walk, and I'm like, this is a high school basketball game, and cameras everywhere and stuff. But yeah, he's cool, man. He's very down to earth, and just he loves FaZe and loves all the guys in there, so he's cool.
Which Space Jam's better? Space Jam 1 or 2?
The Space Jam last night?
We didn't get to watch, so they didn't have it was more so like a promo. Like it was like there were so many people there. But I'm definitely gonna go check it out. But Space Jam 1, that's a feat. We'll have to see though. But I'm sure
that's hard to beat. That's hard to beat.
Man, it's a classic.
Y'all swear y'all could guard me. I don't think so. Y'all need to watch these videos though right here and subscribe. Then maybe you could guard me.